What's going on? Uh, man, it's crazy. Uh, the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy. Uh, it's crazy. I've been thinking about this. In light of all these weird events been happening to me, and it's strange because you look in the Bible. It's like when Jesus was being tempted out in the wilderness. Satan kept asking him, "Are you him?" He kept trying to see. He didn't know who if Jesus was who he thought he was or not. It's like even though they seen all these signs and miracles and obvious references to the prophets and Moses and Enoch. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the Bible it says that Enoch was a prophet, and then come to find out Enoch has a book which starts off, this is for the generation in the tribulation. You know what I'm saying? Which is found in 1947, like the year that the atomic bomb got made, the Philadelphia experiment happened or got restarted again, and Israel became a state, and there was the UFO Roswell crash. You know what I'm saying? Seems like 47's a strange year. It's that obvious. It was like a event that kind of started like this countdown to Armageddon kind of situation. And uh here's another thing, even John the Baptist leapt in the womb when Mary came with Jesus, and he even baptized Jesus and seen the dove descend upon him. But there was a point when he was in prison, he said, "Are you the one?" Even Satan, John the Baptist, and Jesus would always ask people. He'd be like, "Who do you think I am?" You know what I'm saying? Who do you say I am? You know what I'm saying? They said he was a drunk. They said he was a witchcraft worker, that he casted out devils by Beelzebub. And he's basically like, who do you cast devils out with? Old Talmud. Old Talmud. Does not it say in your law, ye are gods, your old Talmud, that ye shall be as gods? You know what I'm saying? You're 322 worshippers. And here's the thing, these people, the chosen people of the Bible, what's left of Israel, which is Judea, which is kind of amalgamated with Levites and Benjamites. And I mean, in the fact that people don't see no distinction between these things just shows you that ignorance abounds, or either that secrecy abounds. If these so-called Jewish people, it's like, what do you follow, the Torah or the Talmud? Or, is it when it's convenient, it's the Torah, but in behind in secret, it's the Talmud? That's the type of stuff Jesus was dealing with during his time. That's why he was at odds with the Pharisee and the Sadducee and the mainstream religious fanaticals and the governments, because the governments weren't so much they don't care what your religion was, as long as you ain't causing problems with the mainstream order and everyone who's paying taxes, and you ain't causing a problem for the emperor. He left you alone. But it was a conspiracy to snuff out, at the time, just seemed to be a prophet. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. A lot of people didn't know who the prophets were when they came to them neither. You know what I'm It's same thing. Moses, they didn't know Moses was an adopted son of Egypt for a long period of time. They didn't know who he was. Joseph was in their prison. They didn't know who he was. They didn't know who Daniel was until him and his homies got thrown in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Same thing here. This is one thing we got to think about. What do people say who do people say you are? You know what I'm saying? And if they do call you more than you are, do you say, don't say that? That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it confused. Be not deceived, my brother or my sister or my mother. Be not deceived in these deceptive times in which we live. And me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I have a knack for deception, because it's, I've just studied into strategy, and it's all based on deception. It's not that you practice in deception, it's that you practice so that you're not deceived by deception. In order to do that, you have to understand how it works and who uses it and why. You know what I'm saying? And here it's like this. Trust in God, but can God trust in you to do your due diligence, to be watchful and not easily deceived, man? I mean, he can deal with a little you being deceived, and then he can enlighten you later to your error, or send one of his prophets, or let the word check you, let a brother check you, let just your own inactions, you know what I'm saying, or overactions, will prove, that, they were, either warnings or encouragement, to later actions. I mean, this is just how it works. Yeah, trust that it's all there, but at the same time, you got to be active in this. It's an active role. Church is an action. It's not a noun. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Study, action. Be not deceived. That's you're active. You're watching. Active. Be ready. Be waiting. Do what you're supposed to do. I mean, these are all our encouragements through this thing. And then, even more so, uh if you see someone come in your life and they're it's like they're sticking to the precepts, but yet at the same time they're expounding them to a point where it almost seems like they're going against what you believe. But there was a point where I believed a lot of things, and I know I was deceived. So just always be aware of this in yourself, because I mean, that's the thing. They saw Jesus and they still didn't know who he was. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how even God is, he's masterful. He can, the fact, look at all these people who can't even acknowledge there's a God, or that there is a creator of all this creation. They can't acknowledge it. They can't see it. Yet it's so evident. And it's remarkable how that's masterful. The fact that it's so evident. It's like footprints. It's like when you go to a field where no man has walked but one person before you. You can see his trail in the field. You can see his footprints, though you can't see him, where exactly what he did, how he looked. But someone forged this trail. You know what I'm saying? It's the same kind of thing when you see these things. It's like you see that Abraham laid the way for Moses. Moses laid the way for Israel. That's all the tribes. And then here comes the kings and the prophets, and that's your next. They laid the way for Jesus, and Jesus came to confirm all of this. And then his disciples, his apostles, came to reconfirm him and the prophets and Moses and God, all these testimonies. Then I read my own history. It says we came from a great flood. God spared mankind. I mean, look, there's another witness. There's all these witnesses out here. I mean, and you got, if you indeed be in the spirit, then the testimony of Jesus Christ is the spirit of prophecy. And if we have the spirit of prophecy, well, therefore, that's in the will with that right there. And that's the will of the Father, that we follow Jesus's commandments as well. And all he does is just consolidates them under, he simplifies them to the greatest degree that anyone could, because he's co-author. You know what I'm saying? And has the authority to do that, and he did it already. But yet, for some reason, we don't get it. We're still doubting. You know what I'm saying? We need to pray for faith and revelation and obedience, so we may attain revelation and faith, that we might bust out of this whatever's holding us back from accessing the will of the Father. You know what I'm saying? That's because when the will of the Father comes, I mean, you be able to, you're gonna have that faith. Then, if you're in the will of the Father, you're gonna have faith enough. You know what I'm saying? But not to say that there isn't more there for you if you're willing to earnestly contend for the faith that was once given to the saints. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. You got to earnestly contend for the faith. And then everything else will follow.